The world is flat. Everything has changed. The workplace has become the United Nations with people from a myriad of countries and walks of life. Companies that understand, embrace, and celebrate the new world will thrive and prosper. Companies that don't will flounder and eventually fail. It's that simple. My name is Dr. Daren Martin, and I'm known as the Culture Architect. I'm the author of 4 books that center around the way we do life and work, as well as on maximizing employee engagement through creating performance cultures. I grew up in Southeast Asia, have traveled to over 40 countries, have been in many Fortune 500 companies, and am well aware of the issues that face companies today. One of the most pressing issues revolves around diversity and inclusion. I am not talking about political correctness. Political correctness is generally arbitrary and limiting. In my experience, political cultures can't hold a candle to performance cultures. I am talking about performance and people. Collaborating with a wide range of people makes for an incredible work environment. It expands options, it increases creativity, and is more profitable in every way imaginable. Discriminating against people based on race, gender, lifestyle, religion, or other categorizations is not only illegal, it's bad form. To be narrow-minded borders on having no mind at all. The more restrictive your point of view, the less successful you will be in a world where diverse points of view abound. Look around the room and the boardroom. If everyone looks like you are not prepared for today's business environment. Today's market is diverse and varied. Customers come in all shapes and sizes. Dollar bills are neutral and don't care who is holding them. On the other hand, the people giving them out are not neutral about who they give them to, and they are less likely to share their wealth with people to whom they feel disconnected. The workplace of today is one that is open to new ideas, embraces people of all kinds and lifestyles, and maximizes collaboration with a wide range of individuals and groups. In my experience with dealing with leaders from a wide range of industries, the most successful people have a purposeful ability to see the other person's point of view as well as they see their own. When you can know another person's story as well or better than you know your own, and maybe even than they know it, then you're able to relate to and be successful with a wide range of people. Many people operate from one point of view, their own. Then they wonder why they're not successful and do not receive support from the people around them. How broad and open is your point of view? Listen, smart and successful people recognize there are limitless points of view, and they're curious and open to learning about and interacting with people whose points of view differ from their own. In Daniel Kahneman's groundbreaking book, Thinking Fast and Slow, he describes an individual. Steve is very shy and withdrawn, invariably helpful, but with little interest in people or in the world of reality. A meek and tidy soul, Steve has a need for order and structure and a passion for detail. He then goes on to ask the question, is Steve more likely to be a librarian or a farmer? Given the description, many people guess librarian. Kahneman goes on to point out that there are 20 male farmers for every 1 male librarian. So statistically speaking, Steve is much more likely to be a farmer. Biases and assumptions unwittingly cause us to check logic and our brains at the door. Now listen, we all know the obvious breaches: racist or sexist remarks or jokes, demeaning comments about different people groups or lifestyles, belittling opinions and attitudes that don't value other people, criticizing lifestyle, races, or religions because it's not your own. These egregious ways of being are outdated and have no place in the companies and organizations of today. But what about some more subtle forms? Let me share a few examples along with more powerful ways of acting. Number 1, a 2-hour dinner with colleagues where the entire conversation revolves around a subject like golf when there are non-golfers at the table. Or conversely, around children when not everyone has children. any dinner conversation that is dominated by a topic that does not include everyone at the table. Instead, consider varying the conversation and seeing what people are most interested in discussing. Use getting to know you questions like, what do you enjoy doing in your time off? What's your favorite thing to do on vacation? If you were not working in your current profession, what would you want to do? Number 2, speaking of food, picking a restaurant with no gluten-free or vegetarian options when there are participants who are gluten-free or vegetarian. Do you know how hard it is for them to find something to eat at a restaurant that is not accommodating for them? Or, conversely, going to a vegetarian-only restaurant when there are meat eaters in the group. In either case, not taking into consideration the diners who will be participating in a meal is to potentially leave someone hungry or with very limited food options. Instead, find out in advance what people are interested in eating and seek to accommodate food allergies and restrictions so that everyone present can have a great meal and a great time. Number 3, using broad statements to lump everyone in the same category. Millennials are ... women don't like ... Hispanics like ... successful people are outgoing ... If you don't go to the gym or work out, you are a ... Labels of any sort are generally limiting. Anytime you lump a group of people into a set of characterizations, you're setting yourself up for failure. Avoid the use of phrases that begin with the word all people or people from blank all feel this way or act this way or like this certain thing. More subtle but equally limiting are phrases that go something like this. I haven't met a person from blank yet that didn't blank. Lack of situational awareness, number 4. Not knowing who's in the room and what they care about. The best way to find out who's in the room is listening. By the way, if you truly adopt an inclusive mindset and awareness, then hopefully you reach the place where you don't have to change what you say to fit the crowd. If you wouldn't say it if certain people were in the room, why are you saying it at all? Number 5, perpetuating a good old boy network. The boardroom has expanded. Decision makers, customers, buyers, influencers, leaders are coming from all walks of life. And when you perpetuate a monochromatic club, you limit yourself and those around you. Number 6, using outdated terms like waitress and stewardess. If you don't know the modern terms, it's time for a language and system upgrade. By the way, it's server and flight attendant if you're curious. Number 7, ridiculing people for their political or social convictions or positions. B, a question mark rather than an exclamation point. If you're surprised or don't understand another person's point of view, approach it like a curious learner rather than a bull in a china shop defending your own position. You just may learn something. Number 8, addressing emails to gentlemen, men, or ladies. Instead, try team or other more inclusive phrases. Number 9, stereotypical assignment of roles, like making the female on the team the social activities or schedule coordinator to do things like make dinner arrangements or plan the team outing. Instead, try rotating these roles to a wide range of individuals. You might be surprised at the results. Number 10, when describing female behaviors, adjectives used are often judgment-based, while men are described using more action-based terms. For example, women are referred to as aggressive, when men are called go-getters. Ask yourself, if a person of a different gender, age, group, race, lifestyle was doing or saying this, would I interpret it differently? Number 11, personal circumstances are discussed or brought up frequently in conversations with women. For example, wow, you travel, and who is watching your kids while you're away? A man would almost never be asked that question. Stop stereotyping or typecasting people or making assumptions about what their lifestyle is. Number 12, not being aware of cultural differences in different personalities and communication styles. Are you familiar with the nuances of the cultures with whom you interact? Are you aware of how they view the world? Are you aware of the different behavioral and personality styles? Are you willing to adjust to them in order to connect, or do you make everyone adjust to you? Number 13, jokes around accents, stereotypical behaviors, and reductionistic characterizations. Now listen, humor is a beautiful way to enjoy life and connect with other people, but it can also be one of the most offensive means of communication when wielded by someone who has not taken others into consideration. Last but not least, number 14, building homogeneous teams as far as personalities and work styles. It's limiting. Look for opportunities to respect different personalities and work styles and build teams using a broad spectrum for maximum effectiveness. Your teams are going to be much better for it. So consider these interesting statistics. 60% of the world's population are in Asia. Out of 7.5 billion people, only 60 million play golf. In comparison, there's an estimated number of Pokemon Go downloads by September 2016 of 500 million. The largest percentage of players, what do you think they're made up of? It's actually males, 21 to 27 years old, which means if you're making dinner conversation, you've got a 1 in 10 chance of hitting on something that somebody's interested in if you're discussing golf versus if you're discussing Pokemon. By 2060, it is estimated that whites will make up less than 10% of the world population. 30% of the world population is considered vegetarian. That's almost 1 out of 3. Only 25% of the world population speaks some level of English. And millennials greatly outnumber baby boomers in the U.S. That was a surprise to you, wasn't it? Let's create the culture of tomorrow today.